everyone. I'm just going to make some very brief remarks and then go immediately into questions. So the real message we want to deliver, the most important message, is that we're confirmed for European deliveries in July. I think that's a real key thing we want to get across since we're here in Geneva. We want to really emphasize European deliveries are starting no later than July. We'll start actually manufacturing them in the cars in June, and then they got to go on a boat and get over here, so it's going to be July when they arrive. We're also making sure that the cars meet the European three-phase charging standard, so you'll be able to charge with three-phase right from the beginning. And we're going to be establishing the Tesla Supercharging network throughout Europe. So you'll ultimately be able to drive anywhere you want in Europe using the Supercharger network, which will provide, as it does in the US, it'll provide free charging. So you'll be able to have free long-distance travel anywhere in Europe using the Model S. I think it's a really big point, and sometimes people don't appreciate that. I think it's an incredible differentiator. That's the most important thing, is European deliveries, and we're going to actually end up stretching the waiting time for U.S. cars in order to ensure that the European demand can be met. Because we know we're a bit late on European deliveries, so we want to try to make up for that. So I can say that if somebody does place an order for a car in Europe reasonably soon, they will receive their car this year. That is important, also an important point to emphasize. I think sometimes people don't realize that. And then moving on to the Model X, obviously this is a car that we think is going to be quite revolutionary in the SUV and minivan segment for people that are looking for a car that has a full 7-passenger functionality, and in fact is, I think, arguably better than a minivan or an SUV in that category. It has a better ingress-egress. You can actually directly access the third row, which is, I think, important. If you've got a child seat in the second row, it's usually impossible to access the third row. And the door will actually open if you can physically squeeze between your car and another car, you can actually open the double-hinged gull-wing door, or falcon wing as we call it. The other feature it has is dual motor all-wheel drive, which I think is the first time that's going to come to market. We have a motor in the front, motor in the back, and it's able to intelligently switch torque from the front to rear. So literally, if you go over a piece of ice, it'll shift the torque instantly within a millisecond from one motor to the next. And if you have a traditional four-wheel drive with a mechanical linkage, that's impossible. It just has too much latency associated with it. So you can really get a fundamental improvement in all-wheel drive capability by having a dual motor architecture. I think those are the important things to talk about from a Model X standpoint. So let's just go right into Q&A.